ahead because those that are late can always catch it up on the YouTube afterwards.
Amazing. Cool. So good morning, everyone, and welcome to July's monthly Connect session. Today we've got a panel planned for you guys, and girls and non-binary and everyone as well. And yeah, we've got Shane and Kylin who will be our panelists. And Shane, Kylin, and Thivy as well. Cool. So we'll get started. And if you haven't done so already, just put in the chat, just introduce yourselves, what you're studying, what uni you're at, and where you're based. And if you are from Microsoft, your role and where you're based as well. Amazing. So before we officially begin, we acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land and their continuing connection to our community. We pay respect to them, their culture, and to their elders past and present. As many of us are watching in locations all around Australia and New Zealand, I would also like to pay our respects to the traditional owners of the country on which we all live and work. I would also like to recognise their continuing connection to land, waters, and community and pay our respect to them and their culture and their elders, both past, present, and future. So first of all, Michelle, would you like to introduce yourself?
Oh, I was just doing that in the chat. So I am the Developer Engagement Lead at Microsoft for Australia and New Zealand. This is my program and I am so happy to have you all here within it. I hope you all will connect to me on LinkedIn, and you can always, ping me any questions in the messages there. I am not great with the emails, but I will try and keep on top of that mailbox.
Cool. Thank you for that. And here is half of our team. The next slide has the other half. So we've got interns, some aspires, some MVPs, other Microsofties, and also we've got student ambassadors as well. So we've got a great team going this year, and hopefully we can work together to bring everyone a lot more events and a lot more connections like this as well. And yeah, feel free to connect with any one of us on LinkedIn and send us a message if you ever need anything. We are always more than happy to help and share some of our knowledge that we may have acquired over the years. Cool. So why should you join the Microsoft Student Accelerator? It is a really great community where you can upskill yourself, network with like-minded people, and also build a lot of cool things. And you can also get certified as well, and we'll put you on the path to kind of get those certifications. So it's really just about having a safe space for you to trial and error, ask your questions, and really just see what else is out there and what type of tech Microsoft can use as well. And yes, to register, you can just use the aka.ms link and go MSA 23. We do host events in person as well, and they're really fun, usually followed by some sort of pizza party as well. So good opportunity to meet with people who are in your area. They might be from different unis, and also meet with some Microsoft reps as well. We should be having some events coming up over the next few months, so keep your eyes peeled out, and then we'll let you know when they're taking place, and I'm pretty sure we'll try to get one in each city as well. So yeah, keep an eye out for that. And all of the recordings from our technical workshops, non-technical workshops, and any other videos as well, Michelle will put them on her YouTube channel. So you can find the link at MSA Tech, and we've got lots of great tutorials on there on how to build some projects and things like that. So really recommend, and Michelle is a great teacher as well. Next one. Okay, cool. And if you want to become a Learn Student Ambassador as well, you can follow this link and um, basically you are part of this community and you can also help run your own workshops and deliver anything that you want while also learning from other people as well. So you get to teach and you get to learn as well. It's a really good opportunity to kind of get involved with the program. And you can also go on the Student Hub. So lots of stuff. You can get, I think, Azure credit, lots of resources on there for you to build your own things, lots of resources for you to learn, and lots of pathways as well, learning paths as well. So it's a great place to kind of go if you don't know where to get started. Yeah, so the Visual Studio Code. I'm not sure if the certifications are still going. Michelle, do you know if the student certifications are available?
I do not currently have any vouchers at the moment, but I'm hoping that I will get some money later in the year for them. And on the Learn path as well, I think the student certification, the free ones are not there at the moment. I think that might have run out at end of June as well. But keep keep coming here, and when we have free certifications, we will say so. I'm going to send out, when I send out a newsletter, I'll send you a link to something else that you can sign up for that you can watch for free certifications too, because they will often come from various sources, watching other training sessions, and at the end of those sessions you can get a free cert voucher. So I will hook you up with anything that I recommend that you sign up for, so you can watch for those free things as well. Yeah, first quarter of the year, difficult, difficult time, but hopefully people will start having some spare money for me and I will use that. I do have the money for the in-person events, and I've got some money for some for the t-shirts and things for you to wear at them, but certifications not quite yet, but we'll still do prep classes, we'll still do learning paths together. We'll just hold off on the vouchers at the moment.
Sorry to
It'll
interrupt. Sorry, when you get some of the vouchers, is it possible, depending on what they are for the, I think is it SC 900 or SC 200 ones? Is it possible, or is it?
When I get the vouchers, it actually doesn't matter which exam you use them for.
Okay, awesome.
So yeah, plenty of people ask me for vouchers for like AI 900 or AZ 900, and
Yep.
then they use them for something else. And it's like, just tell me if you want to do them for a different one, that's
Yeah.
fine, and I'll give you the right prep class for
Yeah, I know.
it.
Yeah, I know that you get a lot of them for the student and the foundation ones. I wasn't sure if you would do them for the other courses as well.
Yeah, the vouchers work for anything. It
All
doesn't,
right then. Thanks for that,
I can't
Michelle.
tell, which is actually a real smart way to think about things, because paying for a fundamentals exam is just like $130, something like that. Um, Whereas an associate or an expert one is several $100s. So if you paid for your fundamentals one yourself, but then used a free voucher for an associate or an expert one, you'd be getting more for free.
Yeah, so we will keep you updated when we find out more. Um, and yes, Michelle's YouTube again, lots of great videos, so you can have a look using the link here.
Yeah, you can just see that in the playlist section there. I've got the Student Accelerator playlist, then I've got the Technical Workshops playlist, and then I've got the Core Workshop playlist, then some student chats. If you're a student and you're interested in doing like a student chat talking about your learning pathway, either something you've built on Azure or how you prepped for a Microsoft exam, and sort of share your tips and tricks with fellow students, then I'm always happy to record a little session with you and put those up as well. We'd like to have more examples of how people prepare for stuff, or how people build. So don't be shy. If you've done that and you want to talk about it, then share that with the rest of your cohort. And yeah, and hopefully, yeah, maybe Shane might do something for the technical workshops one with me, because we haven't done any of those together. And I have one upcoming. I will send it out this week, although I said that last week or the week before, but I will send out one where I teach you all GitHub Copilots. So yeah, this week or next week I'll send it out, promise.
Thank you. Moving forward, yes, and then all the MSA, other non-technical workshops will be under this playlist, aka.ms/MSA play. Cool. So moving on, if you haven't signed up for Microsoft Source yet, highly recommend. It's a newsletter that comes out, and then yeah, you get access to a bunch of different articles, documentation, any events that might be happening. It's curated for developers. And then you can connect with other developers as well. And you can also find lots of different training materials and different courses for upskilling. So you can use the link aka.ms/Microsoft Source, or you can scan the QR code here.
That's
Cool.
definitely one of the ones that you should sign up for. That at the bottom of the newsletter, it has those training webinars, and that's where you might find some free certification vouchers.
I will put a screenshot of the QR code in the chat later, or someone else, if you can do that, would be great, or the link. But yes, it will be in the video as well for you to access later. And yeah, aside from that, to keep up to date with what's coming for MSA, follow us on our Facebook page, LinkedIn groups, and yeah, everything that's coming up, non-technical events, in-person events, technical events, and any other announcements, it'll all be on there. So yeah, stay in the loop and stay connected. Cool. So today's panelists, we've got Shane, Thivy, and Kylin, all different roles, different areas, and we will be just chatting to them about their career and things that they have learned on the way, and then we'll open it up to questions. So welcome. Kylin, are you here?
I'm here, sorry.
Welcome. So we'll start off. Introduce yourself and your role. We can start off with Shane's the first person on my screen I can see. So Shane, you can start off.
Alrighty. Hello, everyone. If we've yet to meet, then hello world in a very developer-centric manner. So look, my name is Shane Baldacchino. As on the slide there, I'm a chief architect here at Microsoft. My role, I think, interesting question. I think like many of us here at Microsoft, we all wear many hats. But my role, what I do, indirectly leading maybe, technical teams of solution architects through to working with customers. Quite often, I'm a builder at heart. I spend my days it could be through to spending time with developers or people like yourself, through to C-levels. My day can vary quite often. You may even see me on stage at industry events through to providing guidance at customers to try and drive an outcome here. So that's a little bit about me.
Nice one, Shane. Thanks. I can go next. I'm Thivy Ruthra, based in Sydney. I'm an app innovation specialist. I'll come to what that means very quickly. But just like what Shane said, I am a developer at heart as well. In my previous life, fairly new to Microsoft, been at Microsoft for about 7 months now. I used to work at a company called Baldacchino in New Zealand. That was my first job as a grad. I stuck there for 13 years. In that 13 years, we used to work with MSA, Microsoft Student Accelerator. So every year, we used to get about 7 different teams to work on cool things. So you guys are in such a good, I guess, program. Make the most of it. All the partners will love you, from I guess, coming out of this program. My role specifically at Microsoft, I'm in the pre-sales role. So what that means is I engage with developers, customer general managers, the development general managers, and so on, to kind of, I guess, showcase what's possible within Microsoft Azure, and more specifically in the application space. So I'm pretty sure you guys are learning about app services, container apps, Azure Functions, or even OpenAI, for example, right? So all those, I guess, services is educating the customers and kind of showing what's possible and what's coming up in the future, I guess. Yeah. Hand it over to you, Kylin.
Okay, so I'm the only intern on the panel. So I guess I'm like the most junior out of everyone. I'm a sales excellence manager, so I guess that it's not as technical and not as salesy. It's very internal. It's sort of like looking after the pipeline, and also, doing internal events such as like all hands, organizing those, and like the upcoming start as well. I guess that's all I do. So yeah, nice to meet everyone.
You keep the ship running so everyone else can do what they do, Kylin. Cool. So go to our next question. So why did you choose this job? You may have not chosen it specifically, but I guess how did you land here, and what do you enjoy most about it?
All right, back to me. So, great question. Why did you choose this job, and what do you enjoy most about it? So I chose this job because of the breadth of this role. It's far and wide. As I mentioned earlier, you could be dealing with developers through to C-level. So there's that ability to be able to hone and refine how you tailor and deliver your message. But also, as Thivy just mentioned before, you could be working with containers. You could be working with GAN neural networks. I think it's Simone on the call here. You could be trying to craft a SQL injection to break into something, or dealing with like an OWASP style exploit. It's far and wide, and it's and I love that ability here. So that's pretty much why, I enjoy this. And look, why did I choose this job? I wanted to change. I used to work for another major cloud provider, and I've always fascinated by Microsoft technology. There's a lot of amazing things that Microsoft does, and I think being naturally curious, I really wanted to spend some time exploring the Microsoft ecosystem.
Nice. So for me, I guess, why did I choose this role? It's because of my past role. So my past role, I guess you could kind of categorize it as pre-sales and post-sales. So post-sales is essentially you're delivering the project. So it's been identified, it's been scoped, and you're spending the next 3 years or so delivering the project. So I've been, I guess, in my 13 years of my datacom life, I've been doing a lot of large projects delivering, I guess, to the customer requirements. I wanted a bit of change, so I shifted to the pre-sales environment, and why not, right? So it's also Microsoft as well. So as a badge, Microsoft is big, and also it's probably the right time that I joined. I feel lucky, especially with all the cool AI things going around, and that's why I actually enjoy this role. It's essentially defining the future, right? In a way, the tool sets, working with the customers, working with the developers, getting their feedback. And then you get to shape the future in terms of the tools and I guess the experience as well. So working with the customers, working with the customers as well.
So I guess as Deepthi said, I didn't exactly choose my role because as an intern, you're just chosen for the role when you're applying. But I do enjoy my role because it's very operational, and I really like organizing everything from events to, to as I said, the pipeline. And I enjoy it a lot because it's not what I study. So it was a very big learning curve when I started, but I did enjoy it so much that I stayed for another year in this role. So yeah, that's it for me.
Cool. Thank you for that, Kylin. Next question we've got is, what are some misconceptions about your role?
What are some misconceptions about your role? Okay, so for my role, so I'm a chief architect here at Microsoft, and there are like many, potentially hundreds of architects at Microsoft. I think, in terms of misconceptions, effectively, what am I doing? And how does it differ from other solution architects? In my role, I spend a lot of time challenging businesses and peers to think differently, to learn more, to make the complex simple, to be able to illustrate the art of the possible. This can take time. And often, as an organization, we are trying to see material results. That horizon may be a little bit different from other roles in the organization. So that low value versus high value, the horizon in order to have influence at some levels can be varied. So I think in terms of misconceptions about my role, sometimes people do need to step back to be able to see the bigger picture in a grander scheme, in order to be able to influence in that long-term view, to be able to change a direction or drive an outcome within an organization. Hope that makes sense. If not, drop a story in the chat.
Nice. I guess for me, like I said, I'm in the pre-sales role, so no one wants to talk to a sales guy, right? But it kind of hurts because I actually have a technical background. In fact, most of my team, we have technical background. So what that means is, even when we go into a conversation with the customers or even developers, they already kind of go disregard you. This guy's a sales guy. He doesn't know technical stuff, right? But that's not true. That the role itself that we play, innovation specialist, is a technical pre-sales. So that means you got to be ahead of the curve. You got to learn what's coming up, what's in beta, what's in alpha, and you got to be able to talk to those I guess features within the Microsoft ecosystem. So trying to make that aware is probably one of the challenge in my role.
True.
I guess for me, there's not too much misconception about my role because my role is literally sales excellence, like looking after the pipeline. But I guess the misconception is sort of the impact that I can make, because even though I'm not part of the sales pipeline, I'm sort of the middleman in between senior leadership looking at sort of different opportunities and them being across it. So in that way, I'm sort of the middleman, and that's how I have impact. So that would be a common misconception about my role.
Cool. Thank you, everyone. Final question that we've got prepared before we open it up to Q&A. What is the most important skill that you have picked up during your career?
I think the most important skill that I've picked up during my career is, look, you're never done learning. You always need to seek to improve yourself. So be curious about the new possibilities and act to explore them, be it AI today through to, moving from one programming language to another. I always used to code predominantly in one language, and I thought, hey, I don't need to learn anything else, but you kind of do need to. I think you need to be naturally curious, because look, it is easy for myself to jump on stage, or Thivy to say, hey, this product is really good, you should go buy it, or something of that nature. But by being naturally curious, by building, you get to experience the rough edges and build empathy to help guide our customers through around them, make products better, etc. So for me, continuing to learn and be naturally curious is the most important skill that I've picked up.
Oh, well said, Shane. That's really good. 100% agree. Always learning. I guess there's always
Always be learning.
Right? Yeah. Especially now, I think there's a lot of new things out there. For me, I think working in teams is something that I'm learning and also learned, I guess, especially working in multiple different projects. It may actually be I'm pretty sure you guys will be working in teams as well as you're doing assignments and so on, or I guess POCs that you're going to be building. It's important once you get into the I guess sort of the work industry is working closely with your team, keeping them informed, being open and honest. It sounds simple, but it's actually hard once you actually get into your project and start delivering, features, or even if you're a business analyst or designers and so on. So working in teams is probably something that I enjoyed, and I guess learning as I'm going through as well.
Yeah, so I would agree with Thivy because I'm so early in my career. I think this is the first role that I've been in where I've had to actually work with like leadership teams within Microsoft, and honestly, it wasn't something that I was comfortable with when I first started, but now I've learnt sort of the skills to communicate with them in a way that is both adding value to the time that I'm taking from them, but also giving them the relevant information. So whether that's through calls or through email, that's, I guess, the most important skill that I've picked up so far.
Cool. Amazing. Thank you, everyone. Now we'll open it up. So if you've got a question, feel free to come off mute and ask, or raise your hand, or put it in the chat, whatever works for you. Yeah.
There is a question in the chat there, Deepthi.
Oh, let me have a look. From Simone, how do people cross-train between departments? Is it organic or is there some structure to it?
I'm happy to give that a crack. Look, Microsoft is such a large organization, from doctors through to lawyers, through to technologists, marketing people, and so on. There's almost a role for every person, job category possible. So do people cross-train between departments? Kind of not. Even on the technical front here, there is going to be some organic skilling that you're going to be able to pick up technologies to a degree. There kind of isn't any set structure to cross-training between departments, but you can choose your own adventure. The details are there, the training materials are there, from Microsoft Learn courses through to our internal stuff. If you are curious about it, you'll find your way there.
Yeah, well said, Shane. I think you agree.
Great, because I winged it.
Agree. And it's well structured, right, within Microsoft. Like my title here is App Innovation Specialist, where we look at apps within Azure. There's also data and AI specialists, right? So there's different specialists within different product sets within Microsoft. You can start at one place, and then I guess as you're finding your way, you can switch between roles, and there's enough support and enough training materials within the organization as well.
I think sometimes there are, more organized pushes to get people to go down a specific path. So last year and the year before, or actually, I don't know, all the years start to merge together. But we had, so Shane used to have a boss, Dr. Pete Stansky, and he came in and reorganized our CSU, and there we had all our engineers had the opportunity to sort of merge their career paths with the cloud solution architects. Whereas before there wasn't, you're an engineer, you're kind of an engineer for life. Whereas now they have a lot more flexibility. So if they want to go into that more sort of strategic architectural role, they can continue to progress along that pathway. And that's becoming more and more defined for them. But also they don't have to. If they want to remain deep in that technical engineering role, they can continue that as well. But at least they have that choice. And then just recently, they have given them a bit of an option to expand into a pre-sales technical role. So they have brought back the technical solution professional role, and they encouraged a lot of them to apply for that, and that they will get training to, explore that part. So yeah, there can be big career sort of pathways that then allow you to move in that direction. But otherwise, yeah, like what Shane said, definitely in mine, I looked at what different people were doing in different roles and thought, I want to do that. I really like that. And I would find mentors in those roles and then, kind of look at what they did and how they did it and what they studied and tried to be like them in the hope that when I applied for those roles, they would be like, yeah, Michelle understands all that. Michelle can do all of that stuff. So yeah.
Thank you.
There's a question in the chat from Fadden on how do we ensure that teams have shared ownership and transparency, especially if it's a big team and the job, while technical, doesn't require such a big team, leaving some members with nothing to do. Does anyone on the panel here, wish to take that? I'm happy to give it a crack if no one has a response.
You start and let people follow you, Shane.
Okay, well, just to answer that question, look, there's always lots to do here. And I think in order to be successful, we need to scale ourselves, right? And often that can mean, there is no overlap. I may have a relationship with one part of our customer's business. You may have a relationship with another part of the business. And in some cases, as per your question, it may mean, there's nothing specific for you to do, but there's always something to do, be it from, regularly upskilling through to doing something else, maybe in another customer segment here. Look, I'd like to think, for the developers on the call here, we kind of work in an asynchronous model. We're all kind of like doing our own different things in order to achieve an outcome. I hope that answered the question. Any brave souls that wish to come off mute? Does Michelle have a prize?
Yeah, I was just going to say on that one, in Microsoft, we have this big idea of one team. And what that means is, even though you might come from different roles and you might be across different areas of the business, nevertheless, we are one Microsoft team. We are all moving towards one goal. We are all trying to achieve one particular target, and we all have the same values. What I've noticed over the years, I've been at Microsoft, this is my 11th year now, is that people who cannot align to that idea of one team do not stay with us for very long. So, often you see it in sales, there'll be these hotshot sales guys who think they are lone wolves and think they will, come in, make all the sales deals, make loads of money and, screw everyone else. That doesn't matter. That is not the way Microsoft does business. And if you are out there, cutting off all your other teammates just so that you can make a big splash, you will not be with us a year later. Because while people might be patient first of all and, try and help you, after you smack them in the face a few times, they will leave you in the cold. And when you are on your own, you cannot achieve as much as when you are working as part of a team. So, yeah, we really encourage that, help each other, and everyone in this call today, they're all volunteering their time to share their stories because when a fellow Microsoftie says, hey, can you help out, you want to help out, you want to be part of it.
Yeah, I'll just add to that. Tech, as large as Australia is, it is still a pretty small community. You will often, I'm 20 plus years into this now. You may be at the start of your journey. I'm not sure where you are, but it's often where you will meet a colleague that you used to work with, or you may have worked with them and then you're working with them again later, at a different organization. So definitely, the saying, don't burn your bridges and just be a good human is probably the summary here.
Yeah, for sure.
I have a question to the group actually, back to the students. What are you guys learning at the moment, or what are you guys building at the moment? I'm curious.
Well, maybe that should be a question for all of you. You know,
Yeah.
what are you working on right now? What is the most exciting thing that you're working on right now?
Feel free to come off mute.
You're optimistic.
What are we building? Definitely need to be building something.
Otherwise, they're missing out, right?
You know, and it's to a degree easier than what you think these days. You know, I tried to build something earlier in the week, or not tried, I was successful. And did I know exactly what, like how to do this? No. But you know, you string it all together, and it's amazing these days with the resources that are available that the hardest part often is starting.
Yeah. It's like watching the MasterChef at the moment. I don't know if you guys are watching it. They get given some ingredients and they have no idea when they start what they're going to make, but they always make something really cool at the end. That's how I feel at the moment. I have so many resources, available, and you just start making something, and you always end up with something, which is pretty cool. Especially with the tools, AI tools, right, that we have at the moment, which is pretty cool. I'm pretty sure the students will have access to it. Is that right? Or in terms of Copilot and so on?
Copilot, they can access for free, yes, as students. Code Spaces, everyone has like 60 hours that they can use for free. But with Code Spaces, as with everything that you build in, in cloud, so when you build in Azure as well, turn those things off. Turn them off. Stop them and delete them. In fact, the same with all your Azure resources, because where you have your student voucher for like $100 or whatever it is that lasts you a year, it will last you a year if you turn all your resources off and if you close everything down and delete things. But if you leave them running, you can burn through all of that stuff in a couple of days. So, and while you're thinking, well, but I'm so proud of what I built, I just want to leave it there and feel it for a while. No, build it again tomorrow. Delete it all today, build it again tomorrow. Delete it again tomorrow, build it the day after, because the more times you build it, the more you clarify in your mind what it is that you're doing, how you're putting those things together, what they mean, what they cost, which is an important thing in business. And it makes it builds your confidence. So you will be less scared about what you are doing when you do it multiple times, as opposed to building it once and just feeling the pride once. Oh yeah, well, I think Gia, who you sometimes see on these calls, she was a grad hire, and now she's a associate CSA. In fact, she might be a proper CSA. Associate CSA is proper. But she's not in the grad program anymore. She's older than that now. And yeah, she spent like one time it was like hundreds of thousands or something on Azure accidentally. It was a bug, but still. And yeah, Arian, who's a CSA, he also told me a horrible story about how he woke up one morning to find that his Azure subscription had gone wild during the night and had spent hundreds of thousands. So yeah, turn off your stuff, turn it all off. It will make you much more popular when you start work in enterprise, if you can talk about how aware you are of the costs of these things. And you can absolutely, I spend like $6 a month. I have a bunch of apps that I use, and I spend like $6 a month. So it's absolutely affordable as long as you are careful and don't start, like, I don't use VMs, I just use like static web apps and stuff like that. There's plenty of really cheap things you can build, which are fun, which are easy, which are practical, which don't cost you much. And yeah, if you're not using them, turn them off, delete them. Oh yeah, if you can set up some automations, that indeed, as Shane says, would make you even more popular. People who know how to automate stuff, that's a really in-demand skill.
Humans forget.
Mm.
All right.
I think we are nearly at time, Deepthi, so maybe you can wrap it up.
Yeah, so thank you so much to Shane, Thivy, and Kylin for joining us on this wonderful Friday morning. If any of you ever have any questions about the MSA program, about their careers, I'm sure you can connect with them on LinkedIn, send them a message. Very, very friendly people at Microsoft. So don't be intimidated, don't be scared. We're all here to help. And yeah, feel free to connect with either Michelle or myself on LinkedIn as well. And yeah, keep a lookout on Facebook, LinkedIn, and our other socials for information about our future events. And yeah, hopefully we get to see everyone in person within the next couple of months. And have a great weekend.
Hey,
Well,
thanks,
I made a
Daisy.
post.
Have a good
I
weekend.
made
See
a
ya.
post on
Bye.
LinkedIn, so comment on my post with what your important takeaway was from this call.
Yes.
Yeah, bye.
Cool. Thanks,
Thanks, everyone.
everyone. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.